14
Well,
years
if I'd
old,
had
the age of
a
consent.
teacher like that, I'd have been early for school every day.
You two don't take this very seriously.
I can't see her having a gun in his ear.
Bruce Brock and Bob Oram were the only two people in town who would talk to the Fifth Estate. Having these two men represent the town of Dewberry outraged many people across the country. In hindsight, watching the program and seeing how you guys were displayed on that show, would you change anything that you said or did?
No, I would make sure that if I could. If I knew that Hannah was going to swing it that way, I wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't even let her interview me.
But he did, and people across the country contacted the Fifth Estate to share their disgust over the situation.
I bet if I hadn't known what was on and that had been on, and when I'd been watching that Fifth Estate, I wouldn't have wrote in about it. But I would probably agreed with probably 80% of those people, the way that it showed. You know, what are those two old idiots laughing about that for? Until you know the whole thing.
And while many people didn't share their opinions about the scandal as openly as Bob Oram or Bruce Brock did,
Horny, I get
mostly everyone we talked to agreed with them and were upset with the way the men looked on the show.
I only know one of the gentlemen in particular, and he is a caring person with a family. There's a lady going through cancer in our community. He's the first one there to support her. He is an awesome man.
Brock still doesn't even know why he was even on the show. He says he told the Fifth Estate that they shouldn't be interviewed. So why didn't anyone else talk? Mayor Hedley Dennell says it's because the people in town weren't used to the idea of having a camera shoved in their face.
People were, you know, taken back by it a little bit, and also fairly intimidated. I'm intimidated talking to you, which is kind of natural for a small town.
Other people, like Calloway, say it was either none of their business or it was water under the bridge. She thought the story was sensationalized and untrue.
I found it very disturbing. I found it inaccurate, definitely. It didn't honor the people here. It didn't respect what the community had been through. It didn't honor the fact that this was done and over with, and it was time to move on.
The boy still feels the town turned its back on him, but Bates says the situation was dealt with appropriately at the time, and the town shouldn't be blamed for something most weren't even aware of. She says no one believed the teacher was right, she just made a mistake. Just an error in judgment?
Yeah, that, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was kind of bad that it all come back to all of us here when, you know, half of us didn't even know what was going on.
Right.
Until all of a sudden it blew up because other people knew about it and was going to blow the whistle if something wasn't done about it. And it went on for a long time. It just didn't happen overnight.
And Brock agrees.
Definitely she was a person of authority. She shouldn't have been doing that kind of thing. Okay? It isn't the first time it's happened, and it's not going to be the last time.
It's difficult for people in bigger cities to understand the mentality of small towns in Alberta. In bigger centers, you don't see schools of 200 that have children from kindergarten to grade 12. Jasper was a grade 1 teacher who just happened to be the same school as a grade 11 boy. Well, that boy, who is now a 27-year-old man, believes the town has turned its back on him and that he was indeed a victim. Join me tomorrow for part 3 of this feature, when we find out if the community really has turned its back on him, and we'll also take a look at some good news that has come from this town. That's tomorrow on Newcap News at 6.